All right, welcome back to Nerds by Screenlight. My name is Aaron.
I'm Phil.
I'm Vicki.
And I'm Zoe.
And so today we're tackling one of the classics. But before we do that, we've been skipping out on doing our question of the day. And so today our question of the day is, what is your favorite animated character? It can be Disney or non-Disney. But Vicki introduced the challenge of if you go Disney, it can't be a Disney princess.
They get so much publicity.
Gosh darn
Everyone
those,
else gets forgotten. There's great characters.
gosh darn those princesses acting like
I
princesses.
mean, I love the princesses. I'm a huge Disney fan, but we forget about the other great characters.
Oh, does it have to be a movie? Could it be a what?
Why has Phil always got to bend the rules?
Well, I want to
intrigued.
know because it's different between like shows and movies.
You know
you
what?
think it's Darkwing Duck or something?
We'll be. Oh man, that opens up a
Let's
whole other
get
possibility. So yeah, it can be a show if you
Okay.
if that helps placate Phil.
Okay.
There's a part of what we do. We placate Phil as a part of our program. There's your future podcast, Placating Phil.
I'd have to Google what placating
It
means.
means make you happy.
Oh,
Keeps you from your murderous homicidal rages.
I like that.
You're like, it involves money,
Yeah.
lots of it. All of it. All right. So, well, when you introduce Darkwing Duck or cartoons from shows, now I have a whole more option. So we'll start with Zoe and see what you've got for us. And you could do one or two. If there's more than one, feel free. Like, let's make that happen.
Okay.
Zoe is shaking her head.
Because I had one. Okay, whatever. I'm just going to go with what I originally thought.
All right.
Olaf.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, yes.
I like warm hugs.
He just makes everything better. Because my original was going to be Dory, but then I thought of Olaf because they're kind of the same.
Yeah.
But different.
I can see that.
I don't
He
know,
gets
just-
impaled and laughs about it.
Yeah, and he wants it to be sunny and be on a beach, and he's a snowman.
It's not putting all the pieces together.
Right. I'm gonna tell him. Don't you dare.
But he's just adorable. It makes me happy.
Well, and Josh Gad as a voice for him is pitch perfect.
Literally.
It's absolutely fantastic. Okay. That's a good choice. All right, Vicki.
Iago from Aladdin.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's the best. He's
Yeah.
hilarious. He
Yeah.
doesn't know how to whisper.
No.
I'll give you a cracker.
Just this loud, obnoxious,
Yeah.
lots of big feelings. But honestly, a lot of what he complains about makes sense.
And that's Gilbert Gottfried as the voice.
Yeah.
He's
Oh.
amazing.
Iconic voice.
Apparently, they're interviewing the actor. The animators had a note: "When in doubt, hurt the parrot."
Wow.
Well, so if you don't know who Gilbert Gottfried is, he talks like this. He's really loud and expressive.
All the
Oh,
time.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
the time.
Now, we lost Gilbert Gottfried, I think, this in the last year or so.
Yeah.
He did die. If you need something to just amuse the daylights out of you, so Gilbert Gottfried has had a long career. He's been around. He's been done doing all kinds of movies. But so there was a show, and I think it's still going on, but it's called Hollywood Squares. Okay. And the idea behind the show is that you got a bunch of celebrities in a little booth.
Oh yeah.
And you ask a question, and the celebrity tries to give you the right answer, the wrong answer, and you have to say, I agree or I disagree, and then you get to play tic-tac-toe on a big, gigantic board with lights and stuff. And so Gilbert Gottfried, there's an episode, you can Google it, YouTube it, and search for Gilbert Gottfried, you fool. And so for whatever reason, he was the last square to win it. Like, he was the only one in play.
Yeah.
And so they kept asking him questions. Like, okay, Gilbert Gottfried for the win, whatever. And they kept getting it wrong. Like, oh, I disagree, or I agree. And his line after the first couple times was like, you fool! And it became a 7 to 10 minute long situation where it spun out of control. And it's Tom Bergeron who did American Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah.
And it is an absolute classic. You will laugh so hard. It's got Whoopi Goldberg in there. A bunch of other people
nice.
are just like going, oh my gosh. And Gilbert Gottfried was just hilarious. And there's when he brings back the show after they've been doing this for a couple minutes, he's like, welcome to the Gilbert Gottfried Hour. And so it becomes just such a Gilbert Gottfried centered kind of thing. It's fantastic.
cool.
Am I allowed to pick a second one?
Yeah.
'Cause I was just sitting here thinking on the other direction of a character who doesn't talk, but is amazing, I think. Entangled, the horse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very expressive.
Honestly, if Aaron was turned into a cartoon, you kind of
Wow.
Thanks, I think.
well, just like the expressions, and
Yeah.
just like
I would have a hard time not talking, so I'm very vocal.
But you'd be like the horse. a little bit.
Okay. I'm not sure.
I feel like I need to explain this.
It may be best if you don't.
We'll just leave it there.
Just let it sit there, and we'll just drive on by.
I'm not the first to say it, though.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
What is the lore behind this? Like,
Apparently there is lore
I need to know.
You won't let me explain it, so I cannot.
Feel free. Let's, why not?
Oh
Explain
my
away.
gosh. Okay, so just a little bit of refresher. So this horse, he's practically a police officer.
Okay.
Very into let's find the criminal, and I will make sure that you don't do anything wrong. I will find you, and I will turn you in. I mean, it's kind of like Aaron a little bit.
We'll find you and turn you in.
I mean, he starts crumbling up the one-up poster. The horse just gives him this look if looks could.
I can see it now.
I mean, honestly.
I'll take the comparison to Liam Neeson. I
was
have a
just
certain set of
thinking
skills. I will find you.
But if you couldn't talk, you would be like the horse.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's fair. A
The
mute.
animal you would be a horse.
But the
But this
spirit,
particular horse,
spirit
not
of the
just any horse, this
the
horse.
spirit of the horse would be a Liam Neeson horse.
Yes.
Yep,
Okay.
basically.
A mute Liam Neeson.
I mean, do you remember when it's whatever his name is woke up and the horse is just in his face
We need video.
There you go. There's your YouTube homework. In addition to the Gilbert Gottfried search for the scene in which the horse is on top of Flynn Rider in his face, scaring him as he wakes up. There's your.
And you can think of me,
yeah.
Aaron.
Yeah. Think of this voice as you view that episode.
I stand by what I said.
I said what I
Not-
said.
I meant it.
Okay. All right, Phil. We've stalled long enough for you.
so I have two. One from
Okay.
a show, one from a movie.
Okay.
But they're technically grouped together. These characters are, so I'm
Okay.
counting them as one.
Okay.
TV show Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Okay. I am not familiar.
It is about these kids that live in a cul-de-sac, and they are always scheming, trying to get quarters from the other kids in the neighborhood so that they can buy jawbreakers. And they
Okay.
come up with insane things, and they all happen to be named Ed.
Okay.
So Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Okay.
I can watch that show to this day. As
Okay.
a full-grown adult, I'll
Literally.
watch it.
Okay.
For movies, again, I got to group these guys together. The new Ninja Turtles,
Okay.
Mutant Mayhem.
Okay.
The way that they are portrayed in that movie, they are amazing, and we still need to watch it for the show sometime.
Okay.
I do want to give an honorable mention because this is just from.
The list
this
goes
is
on and on and on.
No, this is just from the trailer. This
Okay.
movie isn't out yet.
All right.
Wild Robot.
Okay.
Oh, it does look good. I want to see it too.
Yeah, can I be? Are you Vinny assistance?
Yeah, he's so cute.
She's adorable, and it's no, I'm not your mommy. I want to see that movie. So it actually
Right.
looks good.
So you want to hear my other side of that, because I sense through my Jedi sensing skills that there's an environmental message in that movie.
Most likely, yeah.
And some of the previews seem to lean into the bash you over the head with the messaging kind of thing versus letting a story be told organically without being look, it's about the environment. You need to save the whales and save the ducks and whatever else other animals you need to save in this world.
Yeah.
Again,
Not the squirrels.
I
Run all
definitely need
those
to
guys
save
over.
the ducks. Yay, ducks.
Yay, ducks.
I
Not
think
squirrels.
it's going to take place far into the future where
Yeah.
humans are no longer around. That's my.
Okay.
My
The
guess.
art style looks brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely looks unparalleled. I was in awe of that. But as soon as the trailer started to unfold, I was like, okay. Oh, because is it DreamWorks or is it Disney?
I believe it's DreamWorks.
Yeah, it's usually so. God, I love DreamWorks. I don't mean to insult.
I
DreamWorks.
don't know. I'm just guessing.
Okay.
It could be Pixar.
I don't dare touch my computer to search for this because then we'll sound
What's
like
it called
squirrels.
again? I'll look on my
Wild
phone.
Robot.
I think it probably might be DreamWorks. The thing about DreamWorks is they have put out some really great animated movies, but they've also put out some movies where you're just like, oh, DreamWorks. Oh, poor little DreamWorks. Trying to be Disney, you just can't pull it off.
Yeah, because they have movies like The Iron Giant.
Oh, yes. Iron Giant is just a brilliant little
It's
movie.
DreamWorks.
Yeah, it's great.
You just said it, didn't you? Ah!
I figured. So anyway, okay, well that's cool. I'm interested. We probably should watch that movie when it comes out, and we'll give an honest to goodness review.
Yeah.
And who knows? I might be wrong. I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong. It might be already out, actually, to be honest. TBH, as they say. So for me,
Yeah, what's your favorite characters?
Phil is like, come on, you just
Your top 3.
Well,
No, I'm just kidding.
you said that like, okay, no one wants to ask me, so like, I'll just,
Oh my goodness.
I'll back you up here.
Oh, thanks, Phil. So when you mentioned Darkwing Duck, I actually got a kick out of that because I watched that as a kid, and I loved Darkwing because he was equal parts the smartest man in the room, but he was also the dumbest man in the room sometimes. And his catchphrase, which Vicki alluded to earlier, is the "Let's get dangerous."
Darkwing Duck.
And this theme song is just fantastic.
That's about all I can remember from the
Darkwing
show,
Duck.
Oh,
actually.
the theme song is stuck.
When you're in trouble, you call DW. Darkwing Duck. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
good.
jam.
It's good stuff.
Okay.
That was all a part of the Saturday morning cartoons,
Like
or
the
even the afternoon
Tailspin
cartoons.
and-
Oh, Tailspin. Tailspin was unusually like hard hitting in a lot of its episodes.
Chip and Dale.
Chip and
Yes.
Dale's Rescue Rangers. Da-da-da-da.
That was
love
like
that
the
one.
golden age of Saturday morning.
It was.
cartoons.
Yeah.
Well, and even after there was oh boy, not Louis World. Oh shoot, the kid with the scooter. Oh man.
Talking about Arnold. Hey, Arnold.
No, it
Nickelodeon.
wasn't Arnold.
Hey, Arnold.
Yeah, that was a show. that was fun. Oh shoot, Bobby's World. There it is.
Oh yeah.
Bobby's World. But there were shows on.
Wasn't that what's his name? What's his name?
Donnie Osmond?
No. He's on America's Got Talent. Howie Mandel.
Oh yeah, Howie Mandel. Yes, that was Howie Mandel's show. Yeah, so there was there was the afternoon cartoons that happened, and then there was the Saturday morning cartoons. I remember Tailspin, Darkwing Duck as the afternoon cartoons, and then like Bobby's World, and that was Saturday morning. X-Men was Saturday morning. Stuff like that is what I remember. Now, again, memory is tricky when you're at the point of 30 years removed from the events in question. But yeah, I loved all of it. Darkwing Duck was my favorite. It was fantastic.
Were you gonna say a second one?
I'm thinking of like movies.
Okay.
I think like you mentioned Iron Giant. I think the Iron Giant is one of my favorites.
That movie's like it'll hit you right in the stomach.
Yeah, and it's so epic. You don't really know how epic it is until you really are getting into it, and you're just like, this movie really hit for the hate. It aimed for the fences. It was like Babe Ruth on the mound. It was like at the first base. Nope, not first base. Home plate. There it is. It was like Babe Ruth at home plate, and then Iron Giant pointed where it was going. It was like I'm aiming for that. I'm going over the fence, off the city skyline, whatever. And people were like, oh, okay, Iron Giant. And it blew people's minds. To this day, it is one of the best. And I love that Iron Giant as a character because even as mechanical as he is, there is still that emotional connection there.
Vicki, you were talking about like characters who don't speak.
Yeah.
I don't think the Iron Giant talks.
He makes sounds.
He just grunts and
Yeah.
Well,
that's like Wall-E.
I was just about to say, doesn't Wally just make noises? Like,
no, he talks Eva.
Yeah. And that I love Wall-E as messagey as it is with the people who are blobs and eventually have to start walking again. It's
The environment. Once again.
The environment. But that's what a lot of kids' movies are. I'm trying to think what else. I think so for movies that are really like I appreciate like movies that I don't think people expected to become as good as they did. Anastasia, which was a DreamWorks movie. It was not a Disney movie. People
Beautiful soundtrack.
yes.
to this day, that soundtrack is on my Spotify playlist. But it's such a fun little movie, and they really got that one down.
I love the bat in that movie.
Yes.
Yeah. See, there's something about the villain sidekicks.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
they can be quite charming.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case.
Oh, I need to throw in a hidden gem.
Okay.
A lot of people might not know. Robin Williams in Fern Gully.
Oh,
He also
Thank you for
played
bringing that up.
I'm Betty.
Yeah.
He does a whole rap and everything. It's amazing.
That's right.
YouTube that one.
Oh, we should. Not right now.
You have a lot of YouTube work to do, friends, if you're listening to the podcast right now.
You
gotta-
have homework.
Yeah, you have a lot of homework.
Yeah.
Fern Gully.
Fern Gully
Watch
and all
it.
the things. Well, the secrets
Environment
of NIM,
again.
Secrets of NIM, all the good stuff.
We didn't even talk about Captain Planet.
With our powers combined.
Go Planet.
That was an environmentalist TV show for
Yeah.
sure. There was no question what that was trying to do. Okay, we got to get back on topic because we got a whole movie to review, apparently.
We do.
We'll be right back after this moment with Fievel Goes West, American Tail, the sequel, but not the end of the American Tail movies and TV shows.
Yeah. Apparently there's more.
There's a bunch that they threw out there with varying levels of success. However, this podcast will be a success. There's no varying about us. We'll be right back after this here on Nerds by Screenlight.
Get nerdy with me. Talk nerdy to me. Get nerdy with me. All I really need for you to do is just please.
I get so.
Talk to me. Talk nerdy to me.
1, 3, 2. All right, welcome back to Nerds by Screenlight.
That was crazy.
1, 3, 2.
That hurt my brain.
And I was like,
'cause
Aaron, that's not.
I started in reverse. I was like 1, 2. Wait,
Well, you
3, 2.
started the right way, and then you went the opposite way.
Yeah,
and
he
then it was-
said 1, 3, 2.
Yeah, one of my kids kind of look at that class and be like,
It's like
you okay?
it's like me when I'm like writing and my dyslexia kicks in. And
Right.
It's like, that's not how that goes.
Okay.
That's not how it works.
Just so you know.
That's not how any of
2
this
and
works.
3, you need to switch the order of that.
Yeah.
And then you got it.
Okay, so we are going to talk about Fievel Goes West, American Tail. It is the sequel, the direct sequel to the original. And did we do the original American Tail on this podcast or no?
We mentioned it.
We mentioned it.
If you did, it would have been before. Zoe,
Yeah, no,
right?
it was. Yeah, it wasn't then. So I do not like the original, and I think
I don't either.
Yeah, I think it's universally kind of like it's a cool kind of artifact, but there's moments in the movie where you're just like, this is the dumbest decision. No, now this is the dumbest. No, this is the dumbest decision. Like it's just.
I just remember it
All the dumb
making me sad.
Yeah.
I don't much remember it at
Yeah.
all. But the second one it's it for me.
Yeah, it's a lot better. I think they finally figured out the pacing. He still makes like one really dumb decision, but it works within the plot versus just being like, oh my gosh, buddy, what are you? Ah. Okay, so I have notes. They are scattered, but they are notes. Okay, what's first?
First, I want to say like why we're doing this movie, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this movie it's very important to me.
Okay.
Recently, my grandfather passed away,
Mm-hmm.
and when I was a wee little boy, I would always, when I would stay at my grandparents' house, this was the movie that
Mm-hmm.
they would always put on. It was this, Pinocchio, and Land Before Time.
Okay.
Oh, I love Land Before
Oh,
Time.
yeah.
But this,
Which, if I had known the history, I wouldn't have forced you to go through Pauly Shore's Pinocchio.
no, the Disney Pinocchio to me, Zoe will tell you, I still fall asleep to that movie.
Really?
Aw.
That's sweet.
But yeah, the American Tail, Fievel Goes West. It was. When I think of my grandparents,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
of this movie because of.
Well, yeah, and I think we all have those memories of grandparents. Like, unless your grandparent was really awful to you and dysfunctional, which if that happened to you, I'm sorry out in the audience. But like for the most part, my grandparents, like they would have stuff ready for us when we got there. Like, they heard we like Pop-Tarts. Grandma got out and bought like 3 boxes of Pop-Tarts to
Oh,
have them
that's
ready.
cool.
Is that where your love of Pop-Tarts came from?
No, I mean probably. My love of sugar probably came from my grandparents because they would stock all the sugary
I'm asking your mom.
cereal. Yeah, I
I feel that.
it's just because they wanted to be a welcoming, and they didn't have a lot, but they had enough, so when my grandparents lived in a town called Opie, Montana, which is 10 miles from the Canadian border. And there's not a lot out there.
Yeah,
Even back then, the stores there was not much. So when they went out and got stuff, they had to either travel or they really had to work at it and let them know what to order in to have for us kids or whatever. So it was really like that's the thing. Like, yeah, we didn't watch movies at my grandparents, but we had food and we had time. We got to wander around town, and so that's our memories.
Nice.
But yeah, well, and Land Before Time is its own category of legit. Yes. It's had like 15 sequels. There's an entire...
Probably more than that.
Probably more, yeah. There's been a lot. So that's cool. And so, like, yeah, it's an important movie to fill, and we want to recognize that.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
my grandfather just recently passed away.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't even think of this, but my grandma passed away in October, like many years ago.
Yeah.
But so... Yeah, thanks for letting us do this.
Absolutely. It helps that it's a good movie. It helps that
Yeah.
it definitely isn't like, oh, Phil, we have to be gentle here. It's like,
You gotta think there is probably one child out there who grew up watching the Pauly Shore Pinocchio, and that's
I hope not.
there has to be.
Scarred for life.
No. No. That's not okay.
You're starting to sound like the Pinocchio in that movie. No.
I love how it's so isn't even. You're just traumatized, and Aaron is like.
To that one kid out there, I'm sorry.
And I love Pauly Shore, but no.
Not this one.
Father.
No! Shut up, respectfully.
Shut up. If you or someone you know has been recently traumatized by Pauly Shore's Pinocchio, you may be
Re-traumatized, that's
eligible.
what tonight was.
You may be eligible for compensation.
I blocked that out.
Please call 555-1234.
That movie doesn't exist to me. It doesn't.
It's such a weird little thing. To this day, I'm like, that happened. That's a
Yeah.
thing that happened in this world. Pauly Shore, which is so he was making a movie about Richard.
Simmons.
Richard Simmons, and there was a whole battle going on between the
And
two.
then he died.
Then Richard Simmons died.
And I was like, now do it.
Yeah, now he's
Because I think Pauly Shore would be the perfect Richard Simmons.
oh, absolutely.
Oh my God.
he would. He's well. When you look at him now and how old he looks, and how
Yes.
he's aged, he could pull it off.
He could totally pull it off.
Okay, as long as there's
And
no-
has the little spunk and everything.
right.
Like,
Yeah. If you if you want some more YouTube homework, Richard Simmons on Whose Line Is It Anyway? His episode
Oh my gosh.
is out of control.
Yeah.
Like Robin Williams level of out of control.
Okay.
This is Richard Simmons. This is prime.
Okay.
He is
Like,
absolutely.
you think weird science gets into the controversial territory? This is more.
It's just it's
but the audience is losing their mind with laughter.
Yeah, and so is Drew Carey and everybody else. They're all just, Richard Simmons, the brilliance of him is that there was no boundaries for him, but he kept it funny. He didn't. It wasn't mean. It was just like he just wanted to have fun, and I was like, oh my goodness, buddy. So there you go. There's your other homework. Okay, so we get the voice cast. James Horner is the music guy on this movie, which of course James Horner is an exceptional one.
all the songs are amazing.
It's interesting. I made a note of this for Phil. Kathleen Kennedy is one of the producers on this one. So
Kathleen Kennedy.
she's
Why
You've
does that
talked about
sound
this
familiar?
before.
she's the Star Wars lady.
Oh, okay. I was
That
like, why does
Kathleen-
that sound familiar?
Yeah. So she's
But did you Dark Crystal? Where did Kathleen Kennedy come up? We've
She's
talked about
Star
her
Wars.
before.
She's
But
been
she's done something else that we watched.
oh
that we
she's been a
enjoyed.
partner with Steven Spielberg and Lucasfilms for years.
'Cause I know we've brought up her before
Yeah.
on the podcast outside of Star Wars. Oh, Willow. That's what it was.
Yeah. So she's been around. She's been successful, and then they gave her the property, and things did not go well. So anyway,
Wow, what happened with that?
I think because I don't know anything for certain, but it feels like she suddenly had her own thing, and there was no one to help her and for her to be accountable, and so she just took over and was like, and it was like, oh, Kathleen, Kathleen, please don't. So then we get the intro with Billy the Kid,
yeah.
with the imaginary scenario.
I'm talking to
So
you.
I was reading
Fred.
some trivia. Apparently, it's supposed to be Philly the Kid, like
Oh.
Fievel. But it sounds like Billy, and I
It
think
is
that's what it said
Billy.
in the subtitles. But
yeah.
That's cute.
It was Billy in the subtitles.
So where he's fighting with Wyatt Burp, and
Wyatt
he's like,
Lee
can we talk about who that voice is?
yeah, it's Jimmy Stewart.
This is his final film.
Yeah.
Oh, that voice is so iconic. I'm
Yep.
like, where
Yes.
do I know it
Yep.
from?
So
There was a couple voices I thought I knew.
this one is filled.
Oh my
with
Yeah.
an
gosh!
incredible amount of voice
Yes.
talent. And Jimmy Stewart, if you've never dug into his filmography,
You're missing out on
again,
life.
more homework.
Your homework. This gets to the top of the list.
So he's been in a lot of movies. Obviously, It's a Wonderful Life is
Yes.
his epic movie that he will forever be associated. But there's one movie that you may not have seen. It's a black and white movie called The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. It stars Jimmy Stewart and the Duke, who is and John Wayne.
Oh yeah, we've seen this together.
And
that was interesting.
those two did not like each other because John Wayne was very conservative. You know, he was very much like the Republican kind of, and Jimmy Stewart was definitely not. He was more liberal, whatever. But those two, as they act on screen, they put in the work. That movie is legit. One of the best Westerns I have ever seen.
Okay.
And Jimmy Stewart is just an incredible actor as it is. But yeah, if you're ever interested in exploring his filmography, you should dig through it and start to watch because he was in Harvey. It's a movie about a fake imaginary friend who's a big rabbit. A fake friend. Yeah,
I think I've seen that.
There's also Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Jimmy Stewart plays in that. Maybe it might not be Jimmy Stewart. Anyway.
Whoops.
Oh well.
Googling it. Hold on.
I don't dare touch my computer or else we'll just sound like squirrels again.
On it. Hold on.
So yeah, Jimmy Stewart is just incredible.
No, it's Jimmy Stewart. You're right.
Yeah,
Yep, you're good.
Mr. Smith Goes to Washington is a really great movie as well.
Okay.
There's a lot of cool stuff with Jimmy Stewart's acting, and this being his final film, it's not just it's the last movie he ever did.
So what year did this movie come out?
I want to say 90s,
1991.
and he
Oh, okay.
The year I was born.
he passed I think in 90, probably 92 or something like that.
The year I was born.
Yep. So there you go. There's the thing. We have to also talk about briefly, not related to this movie. Maggie Smith passed away this
She
last
did.
week. She of the
Yeah.
Harry Potter and the Downton Abbey fame. And here's the thing. Here's again more of your homework. We know her as Professor McGonagall. We know her as the Dowager Countess but Maggie Smith has an entire filmography that will blow your socks off. And there's a couple of movie clips that I've been watching this last weekend. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this woman was a legend no matter what you did.
Daniel Radcliffe came out and said that like she was one of his biggest like inspirations and one of the reasons why he learned a lot from her specifically.
She had been in Hollywood for most of her adult life. But she became famous obviously like to us because of her roles in Harry Potter. I mean, you can't forget Professor McGonagall.
No,
there's no way. But yeah, her filmography is she won the Academy Award at some point, and she was a powerhouse.
Yeah.
We only have a small piece of her journey as an actress in this. So in that, so that was that. When that news hit, I was like, I knew it was probably going to happen soon because she was getting up in age.
Yeah.
And it's just sad how many of them have passed away from Harry Potter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I saw some artwork about it. About like, there was a quote about like, death is just another great adventure, and I had a picture of Dumbledore.
Yep.
And McGonagall and Snape and Hagrid all walking together with their
Yeah.
backs.
So sad.
Yeah. And Dobby was in there too. I was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. We're of that age where a lot of those stars are getting older.
Yeah.
Actually, both Dumbledores. We lost Michael Gambon.
Yeah,
and
that's
Richard
That's
Harris.
almost the whole adult cast.
Literally,
of
the
Harry
kids
Potter.
are basically left. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's the thing about life. We all go through it, and
Which means they would never probably remake anything.
No.
Which is also sad. And
No, they are remaking it.
there's
HBO.
There's been
They're
talk of
doing it.
HBO starting up a Harry Potter reboot or some kind of
interesting.
I don't like it.
Yeah,
No.
Don't like it.
yeah. I'm not excited either. I'm just like, okay, whatever.
What is the other spinoff of Harry Potter? Like something about the
The
beast?
Cursed Child is the play that they put on.
And there's also the Fantastic Beasts.
Oh,
I
Fantastic
love
Beasts.
those.
Those are
those
pretty
are
good.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there you go. Okay, so then we are pulled back out of his imaginary world. We're back in New York,
In real life.
and the Somewhere Out There song is immediately back.
Yeah. Which I hated in the first movie. Love it in this one.
Yeah, it really works in this one. It's
I love it because she's singing it, and it's part of the reason why I hated it in the first one.
Yeah.
Is because it's it sounds bad.
Yeah.
And in this movie, they're
It sounds-
throwing tomatoes at
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
This, and I'll also say too, this was the first time I realized those are humans throwing.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, so they can understand the little mouse?
No,
Like,
here's what my theory. All they're hearing is and they're just like, shut up, mouse.
Respectfully.
Respectfully, shut up.
See, I appreciate this because I experienced this as a kid growing up of I was the kid who would sing in my room at a little karaoke machine, and I drove my poor sister crazy who just wanted to talk on the phone to her friends. And then I have kids in my school who are like, I'm driving my siblings crazy. Or I have siblings who are like, they're driving me crazy. Mrs. DeLay. They will not stop practicing the music for the concert. I'm like, oh, good. I'm glad they're practicing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Doesn't mean they're bad, but
That's
it's
right.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love how the dad is no, it's the mom scraping food.
Yeah, off the wall.
Tomato off the wall.
Yeah.
For them to eat. I'm like, that works out.
But then the train comes and ruins that.
Everything. So what also helps us understand is that their situation is not stable. They are literally scraping food off of the walls so that they can survive, and that's not even enough right now. And it's not a good situation.
And the dad, he makes it even worse because he's like, Fievel's birthday is coming up and we
Right.
can't even buy him presents.
Right.
And he's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Poor little Fievel, man,
Yeah.
to be that.
There also is an element within this movie, and I haven't done the research, so Vicki may have to do this research for me
Okay.
and then prove me wrong. But they're called the Moskovitz family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're Russian,
Yep.
but they're also, feel like, suggested as they are Jewish. So they are.
Well,
I
it could
get
have been because
those
there-
vibes too.
there was the pogroms
Yeah.
that they allude to it in the first film. So I
Yeah.
think you're right. I think they're probably Jewish.
Yeah.
And they fled from the pogroms going on
Yep.
to come to
And
America.
so some of the cats trying to destroy them can be interpreted as a little bit of like there has been a consistent tide of anti-Semitism against.
Oh, there is literally a cat. We'll get to it later, but when they're designing the mousetrap,
Yeah.
he's literally like Richtofen from Call of Duty Zombies.
Yeah, he's
he
like a
is
German
He is a
Nazi.
German scientist.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so there it is. There's
Well,
our,
I immediately said that because they're rats too.
Yeah.
Like that whole. I don't know. It
Yeah.
just
yeah. Mm-hmm.
made me feel weird.
Well, and so the nice so if you've ever there's a comic, a graphic novel that's been out for years and years. It's called Mouse. There's Mouse 1 and Mouse 2.
Yeah.
And it's a graphic novel that tells the story of a son talking to his father about the journey he had in World War II as a Jew who was, chased and all these things. And so yeah, there is the
I
element
feel
of
like I've seen that recently. Do you have a copy of it?
I have a copy of
Oh,
it.
okay. That's
Yeah.
Yes, we have talked about it before.
Feels like, where is this coming from? I'm having deja vu. I need help. Someone. My world is falling apart. So yeah, it's very interesting, and of course, obviously, it's one of these. I think it was directed by Steven Spielberg, and Spielberg has been on record. I mean, obviously, he's been a very huge activist in Holocaust remembrance and Holocaust reminders, and
So that makes sense.
so that even in this when this movie comes out in '91. Steven Spielberg is very much of an activist in making that sense. So
cool.
I wanted to kind of confirm that and discuss that a little bit because as this movie continues, and I did not recognize that part of the movie, Phil, when we get to it. So thank you for seeing that and being able to bring that up because I had felt like it was alluded to, but it sounds like it was definitely this conversation.
Yeah, he because when he has like the German accent, and instead of "and," he's like "und,"
Oh,
and like he
okay.
literally speaks like, you know how there's like Spanglish.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like,
German English.
yeah,
German English. Got it.
the German version of that.
Got it. So the song is back. The American Dream. Tiger has returned once more, and he is
Amazing.
He is an alley cat who's a city cat, and there's a conversation with his girlfriend. She's like, "I need a city cat.
I need a cat that's more like a dog.
Yeah,
Oh, you did that voice perfect. Dang.
yeah. So yeah, and I made a note: cat more like a dog. So the breakup happens. She's off. She's going off to her next
She's going
adventure.
to West.
She's going to the West. We have John Cleese as our evil cat, which I think is an absolute genius bit of casting.
Bit of trivia for you. He turned down another well-known movie in order to be in this one. The movie he turned down was Beauty and the Beast.
What?
He was going to play Cogsworth.
Wow.
I don't think I
That's
like-
insane. Okay.
I think we got the better end of the deal with.
Yes.
I mean,
with this
yes.
one.
Wow.
He's so good in this movie too.
Yeah. So then the attack happens, and all
There's a very very important detail here.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
like, he sends them out. And he's like, do not eat them.
yeah.
He's like, just round them all up.
Yep.
And when I was a kid, I didn't catch up on that. I'm like,
Yeah,
what
I
do you
didn't
mean?
catch it either. I was like,
Yeah. So there's a plan here,
Plotting.
plan in place.
Mm-hmm.
So they all get poured into the sewers, and they end up.
Oh my gosh, but that scene where they're all like on that metal.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh, that was insane.
Yeah, I pointed out to Zoe. I'm like, this is all hand drawn.
Like, oh.
Like that chase scene
Yep.
like, when they're in the
That's a good
tin
point.
can, and it's like, wow.
All of
And
it.
they're going down the sewer, and
Yep.
it's literally like you're on a roller coaster.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
really feels like it. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, we're going this way.
Well, and to your point, Phil, I think we're spoiled in 2024 with a lot of animation because a lot of it's CGI, a lot of it's 3D, and it's not that it's easier, but the practice of hand drawn cartoon art, I think, has faded with time.
Yeah.
And when you see a movie like this and you go, "Dang, that's incredible! Dang, that's beautiful."
I can't tell you how much fun it is to talk to like the younger generation and be like, "Oh no, that's all hand drawn.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's no CGI there,"
Yeah.
and watch their
I wish-
eyes get big.
I wish art classes would
Yeah. Do hand-drawn art.
Do like not just hand-drawn art, but like
Cartoon.
have them do a flip book.
Oh yeah.
Oh, actually, 2 years ago, we had a teacher. Our teacher did that.
Yeah.
So like the animation flip book.
Yeah. Now, not everyone did it. It was like this one student's project, but
Yeah.
yeah, she made a flip book and it was like awesome.
Yeah.
It took her a while.
Oh yeah.
Like, which
Well,
she got frustrated. But
We talk a lot about art and art having meaning and art having power. You watch. There is a reason why the live. We're going to go off on a small tangent. There's a reason why the live action Disneys do not have the staying power that the original animated versions do.
Totally.
Like you try and you can't give me Beauty and the Beast with Emma Watson. God love her. Is it Emma Watson?
yes.
Got that right? There's so many Emmas right now. Too many Emmas. So you can't tell me that that's a superior movie to the absolute beauty that is the original Beauty and the Beast animated. I mean, that scene in the ballroom where it's just the camera, obviously it's hand, but it's like it focuses and just
Yeah.
spirals around. Like, that's beautiful. There's such an exquisite level of artistry that goes into that. And in all of those Disney movies that we had, between Tarzan, between Hunchback of Notre Dame, all of like Mulan, all those classics, they're brilliant in their colors and their characterizations and their drawings. I will fight over this is a hill that I will die on. You can't tell me that the live action Disneys are even approaching competing against any of their original animated works.
Yeah.
Because they're so well done. And between the music and all that, it's just, I don't know.
I agree.
It makes me sad because it feels like it's a cheapening of the original story and the original work that went into those movies. Oh, we can just do it CGI and all this stuff. It's like, you know what? Did you not learn from George Lucas? Apparently you didn't. You're just making the same mistakes. Sorry, I get really cranky about it.
I want to add something.
'Kay.
If you are out there and you are interested in animation, there is an app on your phone you can get. I just remembered that I have it. It's called what's the name? It's called Flip a Clip.
Okay.
Spelled exactly how it sounds, and you literally slide by slide draw your
Interesting.
thing. I got it just to mess around with it.
Okay.
Like you could do some pretty crazy stuff if you're really artistic, but
Nice. Well, there you go. We have so much homework for our audience
Literally.
this year. This year. That's not a year.
It's gonna take a year.
It's going to take a year.
So much for a short episode.
This episode.
So many
We're going
changes.
for 365 days straight of recording. Buckle up, baby.
hey, we got to give them something to do. The movie's only like an
Right.
hour and 15 minutes.
As they say, we got to stretch it. We got to stretch. Okay, so then the puppet shows up and is like, "Yow."
Hurts every bone in my body.
yeah.
I never realized he was saying y'all.
Yeah. I can't forget
Y'all.
it. Y'all.
And
Y'all.
I'm just like, how do you
narcissistic.
not realize that's a puppet? Like,
Well,
I'm sorry.
I think that they're so desperate for hope because you think about they just lost all their homes. There is nothing left for them. They have
Yeah.
nowhere to go. They have no money. They have no belongings. They are in the sewer.
But there's that one part where he's like, it's all jacked up. Like, that's
Yeah.
definitely not like.
It's
Okay,
really
so
dark.
here's the thing
Where
that
he starts like
right.
Yes, and
Egotistical
the
thing.
puppet's like this,
bent
and
over and he's just like, I'm non-narcissistic. Like what?
you are, sir.
I think part of it is that, and this is again an approximation or a projection, is that when people are at their lowest or at the end of their rope, they will do anything to survive. And so I think there's some allusions to what happened. Again, we're going into history here for a second.
Totally.
The Jewish people were without hope, and they were looking for a way to save themselves, and so things happened to them where they were like, oh, we'll get on the trains, we'll go get help, we're taking you to a better place. That wasn't the truth. And so I think what they're doing with that idea is people will believe things without really seeing what they're seeing, and they'll be like, oh yeah, okay, we're gonna go this mouse puppet that we don't really think is a puppet is going to save us. We're going to be okay. And again, not to hit this too hard, but they do get on a train, and they do go to the West, and they do get put to work.
Yeah.
And they do
Oh man.
yeah, right?
This is ruined Phil's childhood today.
Yep. I'm here to help. But if you think, I think, and I'm not sure, we have to do some research into it, obviously, but I think that was probably...
There are a lot of parallels,
Yep.
actually.
Yep. And again, we've got to remember Steven Spielberg. Man knows how to weave a story. He knows how to hit you over the head with some stuff, and he knows how to surprise you. He'll be like, you don't even think about it. And you're like, oh no, Spielberg. Oh, you're good. Okay, so then what happens next?
Well, they are all like the mice are all like, okay, let's go out west.
Yeah.
And then we cut to Tiger.
Yeah.
He's looking for Fievel, and Fievel's not home, and so
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, I gotta go find him." And he's probably going to the train station. How he comes up with this
No,
idea?
he's has
Left him a note.
there's
There's
a note.
There's a note.
Yeah.
Oh,
from Fievel.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. So Fievel went back and wrote a note to Tiger and said, "We're going to the west."
And so like,
And Aaron loses his mind with laughter for the next couple minutes.
Yeah.
yeah, the next few minutes is just Tiger being chased by every dog in the city,
Literally.
He cannot get away from them.
So
all the way down to the dogfish.
yeah.
Yes.
See, I was like, Zoe, I was shaking my head going, really? And Aaron is so what he's doing now.
Literally, he gets in with the dogfish, and I go, "Oh, it's a dogfish," and then it goes dogfish, and I'm like, "I actually knew the name."
So it's Dom DeLuise, and Dom DeLuise has a certain kind of manner of speaking, and it's almost like Gilbert Gottfried, but in reverse.
Yeah.
Like he's like, oh, dog feet. Like I can't do it accurately. It's like again, Dom DeLuise, and he plays this character so well. But the reason I laugh so hard is because it's not a quick cut. They give him enough time to land wherever he lands, and he has enough time to maybe make it out, but then he realizes, oh no, there's dogs here.
Honestly, it reminded me, I think I said this out loud when we were watching it, like Naked Gun.
Yeah.
How, like, the jokes don't stop.
Yeah. It just keeps
It
going.
just kept going.
And he keeps escaping, and then he finally gets on a
He gets on a stagecoach.
yeah, and he's dragged behind by the dog. It's on the thing. It's like boom, boom, boom.
And every time he bounces, you hear a squeak.
With his little crop top.
Yeah, he's definitely a violation of school dress code for that cat.
Hey,
Like,
I
Winnie
have
the Pooh
some.
if it was a cat.
I have some shirts that
Little
fit
bit.
me like that. Okay.
Okay.
Like, don't fat shame my boy here. We're not going to get into this.
Poor Tiger. Poor Tiger.
He's
can't-
adorable.
He is. And what I love him. I love the character arc he gets to do by the end of this movie.
Yeah.
we get to see Tiger be a true
Yeah,
tiger.
but by the end of the movie, it's his movie.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
it's-
literally.
I would agree with that statement. I would agree. Okay, so Way Out West. I didn't like the song as much as I thought I should. Does that make sense?
I think it's very clever.
Wait, which song?
the Way Out West song. Way Out West. Dun, 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 dun.
I loved all the songs. I was just like,
Yeah, they're great.
I love how like they did like the Way Out West, Way Out West.
Yeah.
To make the,
yes, that's so
to make
cool.
the sound, the
Like
train
the train.
track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah,
it
it's
wasn't.
clever.
I think partially. Okay, all right. Apparently, I'm alone in my not so much of
It's
being a
okay.
fan.
I was
okay.
actually surprised by the music. I was like, whoa.
No, it's good.
This
Like
is
it's
like-
it's
You were
solid.
elevating it. Good
But
job.
like for me, I think I was just like, I don't know how I didn't feel like woo. I was just like, oh, okay, it's kind of cool. I do like how they put it in there, but it wasn't my jam.
Okay.
It's,
It's fair, you know.
Fievel, I think, finds out the evil
Yeah,
plan.
he
Oh, this is
he
another
stumbles
part where
upon the
Aaron
plot.
goes, really?
Yeah.
Why did he leave? Like, where is he going? Why did he do this? And I was like, I don't know, Aaron.
he
I
sneaks
can't
out. And he ends up overhearing the secret plan.
He discovers the puppet.
Yeah, discovers the puppet. That freaks him out. I don't think the cats realize how much of the plan he heard. I mean, they're gonna kill him. They're gonna be like, oh, what do they call it? The whoop-
flying eye.
The flying eye.
Oh, that was a good impression.
Yeah.
Do it again.
There you go.
Love the flag. Ah.
That was the best part.
So they try to kill him, but
Wait,
they,
who was the voice of the spider, though? That is worth
Fine.
mentioning.
There you go.
He was in, I think it's the guy who was in Rat Race. The dad
Okay.
of the.
Oh, really?
John Lovitz. It
I
is
think
John
it
Lovitz.
is.
It
Really?
John
Yep.
Lovitz.
That makes
I
so
wanted
much
to-
sense.
I was like, we need to make this
John
connection.
Lovitz.
I
yeah.
can see that now.
Yeah, there you go.
The,
So this
the dad in Rat Race.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
is the spider's voice.
Okay.
I love that.
Phil
That's
is
awesome.
Phil is gobsmacked.
The more you know. Dun, dun, dun.
Yep, there you go.
Well, so is it a spider or is it
Yes,
a
it's a
cat?
spider.
Okay,
It's a
because
spider.
I was so confused.
It's a very large
It's
spider.
a spider cat.
No.
No.
See, I'm not okay with that one.
With
The
cowboy
dogfish
boots.
makes sense, but
No spider cats.
the spider cat does not make sense.
That's a fifth grade drawing waiting to happen. Let's just not.
I'm sure it already exists somewhere. Okay, so
If not, I'll
then-
make it happen. I'll just mention it.
let's also talk about this movie's really good at
Yeah.
showing things to scale.
Yes.
Like the mice, whenever they're next to the cats, they're
Yeah.
really, really tiny.
Yep.
How big is that spider?
I know.
Yeah.
Because it's almost the size of the cats.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, it's a big
It
spider.
has no shoes.
Yeah. It's
His little boots.
Cute or terrifying?
both.
Both.
Yeah. Let's be honest. Just no, not so much.
I think it brings the humor though into the.
Right. You're kind of like, and this the spider has shoes. Well, and it also lets you know that it's not just some random character. Like they invested time and effort into making this a fully fleshed out character with a story. Okay, so
He gets kicked. Somehow gets. Oh, from the flying off. He gets kicked.
I have to do it.
Kicked
in
off
that
the
voice.
train.
gets on the train and they see him. I think they see him.
Yeah,
the family watches him fly
and they're
off,
like freaking out.
and they think he's dead. And
Or if
that's
he's in the middle of nowhere, there's no point.
Yeah.
Yep. So then Dom DeLuise is walking
through
through
the
the desert, losing his mind,
Yeah.
and having a mirage. Yes, Zoe.
Oh,
It makes me so upset when they go by each other and it's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
them and
Yeah.
they think it's a mirage. I'm like,
Yeah.
hi, Mirage.
as a kid, I was like,
No! What are you doing?
It is. Yeah.
They say hello.
Yeah. Hello, Mirage. Hello, Mirage.
Well, you can't blame them. Like,
Yeah.
Fievel hugged a cactus thinking it
Yeah.
was his family.
I like the owl part. That's my favorite. He starts kissing the owl.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tiger and...
The owl looks so flattered. It's like, ooh.
You're not my baby buckaroo.
Which I learned, apparently. So I get called that by Phil and I never knew that it came from this movie.
Oh, cute.
My baby buckaroo.
I just looked at him like, wait, you call me that. Wait. So
Now we know.
Your
Yeah.
secret has been revealed.
You know, it's funny because a lot of like the things that I say to Zoe
Yeah.
are from like these obscure movies.
Right.
Like I'll also like I'll tell her like when I love her, I'm like, I love you, Munchie Crunchies. And that's from the Black Cauldron.
Okay.
the little dude, he's like, there's gotta be some Munchie Crunchies in here somewhere else. And he's like, I
no.
need my Munchie Crunchies.
Oh my goodness.
yeah.
There you go. There's some insight. So he's not sure how she feels about all this. But
The
there it is.
information you did not need to know. But
I was just in shock. Like, wait, I thought this was all original. Like,
Why?
well, here's the thing, like I did it not on purpose.
Right.
I
It just-
know.
it's
I
just-
know.
It registered in my mind later on that that's where these things came from.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Well, I will freely admit I've never done that to Vicki.
Well, I don't like being called things that are edible. Right. That was.
Yeah.
I explained when we first started dating. I'm like, don't call me anything edible. Not honey. Not sweetie. Not sugar.
Pumpkin.
No.
So I think it was the only time that I kind of did lean in. I was like, oh, really, pumpkin? She just like looked at me. I'm like,
Ketchup, mustard.
okay. Yeah.
I was laughing, but I was also glaring at you.
Like, well,
Stop
that's-
it.
Well, yeah. So I've never done that. But like I'll say sometimes when something's going on or something, I get something fixed or whatever. I'll go ka-chow,
Yeah.
which is from Lightning McQueen.
Ah.
Or when something like really goes awesome or like I succeeded, I'll go boom shaka laka laka, and
yeah.
that's from Muppet Treasure Island.
Yeah.
And then
I
there's
get a lot of stuff from the Muppets.
I do. I don't use it as much, but there's a scene from the Muppet Show where Kermit, somebody tells him something and he says, "The heck you say," and so I've used that off and on every so often. I'm like, "The heck you say," because of course they couldn't say "the hell you say."
Right.
I had to say, "The heck you say." What I just love it in Kermit's voice. Okay, so Tiger becomes a god.
Well, no, let's talk about I want to talk about the skeleton thing.
Okay.
Because as a kid, and looking back, I was like, yeah, what is it with the skeleton?
Yeah, like, why is it moving?
And then I'm like, oh, it's the mice.
Yeah.
Oh,
The very
The ice, they're making the skeleton move.
Because it would go down immediately. And I'm like,
Yep.
wait,
It's
what's
like,
happening?
is it haunted?
And then it started dancing. And then it's like, what?
it's like a little Tim Burton, actually.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a vibe.
So then they capture him, but then they look at him and they look at the
mountain
The
thing.
mountain is
In the
shaped
same
like him,
shape.
and then he's a god in the way that.
I love how it's like it's not quite culturally appropriate
Right.
nowadays,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
Tiger looks at the chief as he comes out and he's like, "How do
you
you do?"
Always like that.
So yeah, there is that element that the Indian mice the Native American, Indian, indigenous mice representation leans a little stereotypy.
I was telling Zoe this, and Zoe apparently has not seen Disney's Peter Pan.
Oh boy.
Because I brought up, I was like, it's like I was like,
I didn't mean to come on so like, no, just,
I've seen Hook with Robin Williams, and
But-
that's
Which is
my
amazing,
Peter
too.
Pan.
I was trying to compare it to her with
right.
Tiger Lily
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that whole chief situation.
Right.
And she's like, there's Indians in Peter Pan?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, wait.
I'm like,
so
Tiger Lily? She's
yeah.
like a big part of the plot here.
Right.
Like,
But the Peter Pan she's familiar with generationally is Hook with Robin Williams, which makes sense, and I understand that. But yeah, no, Peter Pan's representation of Indians is
not great.
Problematic.
not great at all. Still, like when you are able to separate that piece out of the movie, it's still a solid film.
Oh, yeah.
Again, it's one of those things where you have to really accept the fact that they were produced in a different time, different concepts, whatever you want to call it. Different.
I mean, you're not going to find a movie in that era
Yeah.
Yeah.
that depicts Indians
well.
well.
Oh yeah,
Which is
there are
unfortunate.
so many movies with Native American references. I feel like from
Yeah.
the '90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, we again, it's a hit. Films are a historical element of our culture.
Yeah.
and it's very interesting to see that kind of go. Okay, so then Fievel gets to town. So the
But he rides the sagebrush thing, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and that song in the background, Aaron, you'll get a kick out of it.
Is
It's a
from
roll.
Blues
Roll
Brothers.
High.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's from the actual song from Blues Brothers that they sing at the bar, and so it's the actual soundtrack song from it. So rolling,
I thought it was
rolling,
cool.
rolling. And so that
Rawhide.
yep.
Get them up, put them down. Something, something, something.
I love that
Rawhide.
song.
I can't.
Phil, that's an 85% on your karaoke score. We're gonna work on that a little bit.
Hey,
85 is not
85?
bad. I was gonna say.
85?
I mean, I'm
Okay.
willing. You know, I'm like
I'll take my B plus.
I'm like I don't know what judge. So there was the joke of the old Olympics back in the day, like that the German judge was like biased. It wouldn't give you a great score or whatever.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out like what a judge you would have been in the Olympics, but I can't. My brain is not as on fire with that. So I don't know if you're the American judge or the British judge, or if I'm the British judge or the American judge.
I don't think you're Simon from American Idol.
I was just thinking about Simon.
Oh,
You're more like Randy,
yeah,
I think.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, because he's kind of like he has like kind of neutral.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
he's not as mean as Simon.
I feel like
Cowell,
he's
but,
fair. Like he'll
yeah.
tell you the truth, but he'll be tactful about
Right.
it.
He's the what's up dog guy.
Yep, he is. Okay, so rolling. They reunited with the family. Oh, Fievel, you are alive. Moskowitz, the rope, the Moskowitz, and all that. And he tells them that, no, they're going to kill us. They're going to eat us. And he's like, Fievel, you've been in the desert. You don't know what you're talking about.
Well, there's this moment I think we skipped over. I think it's important that when the mice first get to town, there's that disillusionment of like,
Yeah.
this place is not what they told
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's and then they had the spider go up and plug the water on purpose so
Yeah.
that they would feel even more hopeless, and it gave the cat the perfect opportunity to say,
This is my vision, and
Yeah. This is what I'm
join
doing.
me, won't you?
yeah.
Well, the dad, he was like, he saw opportunity in the place.
Yeah. He's
like,
all potential.
I could see rivers flowing through town
Yeah.
and prairie dogs and
Yeah.
like he saw potential in it. He was also
Yeah.
very smart too, because everyone else was scattering to like claim their house, and he's like, let's go where the water is
Right.
because like we're
It's
in
a desert.
a desert.
You
Like,
need to be by the water source.
And then, of course, the spider stops it up because they told him to stop it up because they want to create demand.
And it immediately just
Yep, gone,
No water.
Gone away.
like you want water, now you have to work with us
Yep.
to
And so
build the town.
the cat is very much like, oh, I love mice. Mwah, mwah, mwah. You're wonderful. You're wonderful. I'm actually building you a mousetrap. Ha, 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 ha. So,
we're gonna make a sandwich.
yep. we're gonna make
Mouse
a
burger.
Burgers.
Mouse
That's right.
burgers.
It's a burger.
Which it's
Which Fievel over here is this, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is where like they lift up the door.
Yep.
And he falls into the saloon.
yeah. So he falls in the saloon. I'm trying to find my notes here.
Oh yeah, because he hears that plan.
Yeah.
Too.
He hears
After
more
they
of
were
that
already
plan.
like, oh, you're just.
Because the main cat villain guy gives this big old speech.
What would you rather have, the crouton or the entire Caesar salad?
That's the whole Caesar salad, probably.
Caesar
But there
salad.
has to be croutons in it.
But there's this poor cat who's like, I cannot keep being nice to these mice.
Yeah, he's losing his
Like,
mind.
this goes against my instincts.
Right.
I'm going crazy.
So then we meet the Mrs. Tiger's Mrs. is there.
Yeah.
And
And she misses Tiger.
she does.
Oh, because like she just got dumped by this guy, and she's taunting him by calling him pussy poo.
Right. Yeah.
I do not like being called pussy poo.
Yeah, well, maybe I don't like being dumped.
Yeah.
Pussy poo.
And he's like, I remind you, I said it before. I do not like, but he doesn't take it out on her. He doesn't try.
He
and
just kind of.
yeah. I think because he understands that she would probably beat him in a fight.
Oh,
fight.
yeah.
There's no question. This girl is not a shrinking violet, shrinking violet, if you will.
Fievel's sister?
Okay, so yeah, so we get her actually. What's interesting? So yeah, so he goes. Tanya. He goes to search for her voice because he hears her. She's singing.
She's doing housework.
Yeah.
Like she's cleaning and singing.
but she's
while she
singing
does
so
it.
beautifully.
Which we get another awesome animation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here with the water, and she's like puts it on the thing, and it clears off the dirt.
Yep.
That looked so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
dang, they did awesome in this.
They did. They did a lot of great work, and so he finds her.
and this song is beautiful.
Yes.
I think.
It's
Agreed.
absolutely. There's certain moments in movies, and sometimes movies do it better than others or do it more consistently than others. But this moment in this movie is where you stop doing whatever you're doing and you just listen and you watch because you are,
that's what the cat was doing.
Yeah.
Like when you got the bad guy,
Yeah.
like captivated by it, like,
yeah. So he brings her in. He introduces her to the cat.
and he's like so gentle with her.
yes.
He calls her something.
His diva.
Yeah,
Diva.
his
That's what it is. Okay.
And in our world in 2024, we think of a diva like a Mariah Carey.
Right.
But in that day
in the
and age,
in the music world, it's like the prima donna, the main soloist, the
Yeah.
star of a show.
yeah,
Well, in the Fifth Element, that blue alien is
Is
also
the
called the diva.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah.
a musical term.
So there is that element, not just like, oh, she's just a diva, can't look her in the eye, only blue M&Ms or whatever. This is
Only
like
blue women.
And
That's-
red Skittles.
that's the rumor with Mariah Carey and Jennifer Lopez and whoever else because obviously people want to.
Girl,
start.
I heard you're live. Don't act like no one heard it. It was bad.
Are we talking about Lopez?
No.
Are you talking about Mariah Carey?
Yeah,
I
and this
think?
was a few years ago.
Yep, I heard about this.
What was the story?
Zoe throwing shade right now.
She was doing her, usual Christmas song. She can't hit the high notes anymore.
Oh no!
And it was all live. Everyone saw it, and they tried to cover it up, but
Oh,
everyone saw
that's
it.
Poor
bad.
girl.
So she probably honestly lip sings now. And I'm just like, then just stop, because
Right.
like, don't hurt your voice either. Like, it's not
yeah,
worth it.
Yeah.
Well, so what's interesting? So Mariah Carey is probably. I mean, she's probably still a powerful singer.
Oh, yeah.
Just can't hit those high notes. But I mentioned Jennifer Lopez because that fall from grace has been extraordinary. She came out with her big hour-long music video, and she was going to do a tour.
Oh, God.
And people were just like, "Girl, this music video is really self-referential, and it's almost like a selfish little look at me. I'm all my." And it was bad. Like Google the Jennifer
Okay,
Lopez
because
fall.
I haven't seen this.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Oh, it's rough.
More homework.
Yeah, and so she was supposed
You
to
start a
have.
list.
She was supposed to do her tour, and the tickets were on sale, and then she announced the tour, and the tickets were not selling well.
Interesting.
And then later, like in the last month or so, Ben Affleck they've filed for divorce, because if you read into it a little bit, Ben Affleck was interviewed for her video promotional whatever, and he was just like, why am I being interviewed? I don't want to be interviewed. But she made him do it, and it kind of pulled back the curtain on their relationship and how she was basically kind of this hubris-filled, arrogant, like, I'm still Jenny from the block. She's not Jenny from the block anymore.
No.
That is gone. And
That reminds me. Have you seen the video where she literally goes back to her childhood home,
Yeah.
and there's someone on the porch, and she's like, "I'm Jennifer Lopez. Like, this is where I used to live." And they're like, "Who are you?" And I was just like, "This is awesome." 'Cause she got
There-
so offended.
I saw something about somebody who grew up around her or near her, and
Yeah.
she was like, "Yeah, no, Jenny was not from the block." Like,
I think what happened with Jennifer Lopez is she separated herself too far from her roots, from her home,
Yeah.
and the world that she grew up in. And there may have been a time that indeed she was Jenny from the block. I mean, she made a lot. She was making movies. She was bankable. She was a star. In some ways she probably still is, but because no one would buy her, no one would finance her project. So she financed all of it on her own to the tune of millions of dollars. and it didn't go well. Like people were just like, "This, nobody asked for this. Why are you doing this?" And it was just like no one in the process of her developing, shooting, casting, making it happen, told her, "Hey, Miss Lopez, maybe don't do this. This is not a good idea."
Yeah.
No, they just,
And maybe people did, and she just didn't listen to them.
that's also entirely possible. Anyway, so there's your pop culture sidetrack for the day. Jennifer Lopez and Mariah Carey. I did not know that about Mariah Carey. That makes me sad.
Google it.
Okay.
More homework.
At your own risk.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
Okay, so another interesting side story. Katy Perry recently came out with a new album.
yeah.
And it bombed.
Well, I love her song,
I-
her single or whatever. I haven't heard the rest of the album, but
I
So
liked her in the past.
what's
for
interesting
sure.
is there's a lot of criticism around her song and how out of place it is in the time. Like it's a song for an older time, like back when that was popular, when that idea, when those concepts, girl boss, whatever. But there's been so much different music and different messages that's been coming out that Katy Perry, for whatever reason, people suggesting that she didn't stay with the times. She stayed stuck. And so their issue they're saying is she's not.
I'm just like, you could have got anyone other than Trisha Paytas to be in your music video.
I think that was kind of the point.
She's known for crying on her kitchen floor. Like,
right.
Was that the point you think?
I feel like that's like the point.
okay, I don't know.
Okay.
Do you want
Because I mean, Trisha, everyone hates her or whatever, but she's still making money. I mean, she
Well,
is an
yeah.
entertainer, and
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because what is it? Chapel Roan is a big old deal. Whatever her name is, or Roan Chapel, whatever. I don't know.
I don't know who you're talking about.
So wow, I love how I am more connected with this than you.
I have
are.
no idea.
Yeah, I'm lost too.
Chapel Roan is an American singer-songwriter.
Okay.
And so she's really hit a lot of the like. Yeah. So Google her.
Okay.
Research her story.
How about that?
There's too much homework. We gotta start a list. There's no way.
Well,
you can
we
remember
just gotta
stuff.
listen to the podcast back.
Basically.
If you or someone you know has been hurt by Aaron's homework, please call 555-1212. You may be entitled to compensation. Okay, moving on. So I don't know what happens next.
So he takes Tanya to. Did we get the lady cat's name? In my mind, it's from a little kid. I always just call her Cleo. She looks like a Cleo.
I think of her as like a duchess, but I don't know.
Or a
Let me
duchess,
look.
yeah,
Let me look.
but-
I'll look.
I've always just called her Cleo.
Okay. Well, the lady cat, if you will, until we find a name for her.
So-
I'll look. Hold on.
He takes her to her so that she can,
Get her like ready
yeah,
for the show.
basically give
Yeah.
Tanya
She's
a
like a
makeover.
mentor.
Yeah.
And so she's like super nervous. She's like,
Miss Kitty.
Miss Kitty.
Miss Kitty?
Oh,
That's
okay.
adorable.
Kitty.
But yeah, she gives her like this really nice, uplifting
Yeah.
speech. She's
She's
like,
encouraging.
No,
Yeah.
you can do this.
She's
Like,
a good mentor.
Well, because she's freaking out because she's never sung in front of a crowd before.
Especially cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's intimidating.
and it shows like when she goes out there and first starts singing. By the way, amazing song.
Yes.
Yes.
Brings down the house.
Yeah,
They're
like-
all mesmerized by her. Like,
Yeah.
they literally just like,
Well, the first thing she does when she goes out is she hits a note that breaks the glass. That Fievel is in being tortured by the spider.
Right. So Fievel's like, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. No, my audience, my crowd, I have to perform. And I think he just gets tired of it. And he leaves.
Yeah.
This is after Fievel like pokes dude with the fork, right?
Right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. He's like, who made this? That's why he stuck the spider on him, because he's like, go after whoever did that assassination tip on my life.
Right.
And
yeah,
so-
like you were going to die from that. I mean, that was a little dramatic.
But it's so funny, like the spider and Fievel inside the bottle.
and he has
Right.
it over fire, I think.
Right.
Yeah, over a
I
candle.
got to evenly cook. You're not evenly cooking. It's like, oh my gosh.
What?
So many things this movie
That
is.
actor does so much fun in that role.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely brilliant. Okay, so then what happens next?
Fievel ends up finding Wiley Burp.
Okay. And
He's like, at first he doesn't believe that it's him, and he's
Yeah.
like, check the badge, son, you know.
Yeah.
And Wiley Burp is an old dog. He's on
tired.
He's on his last leg, and he's over it. The cats have taken over.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't have a replacement for me or whatever. Until he does.
Yeah.
Fievel's like, I may not know any other dogs, but I know a god.
I do love this. So from here on in, this movie takes off.
Yes.
It is a ride to the finish. So Fievel takes the perfume that he had with him.
Yeah, because he caught it in his hat.
Yeah, he got it in his hat. So he goes to what's his bucket?
Tiger.
Tiger. Back to Tiger.
Back to Tiger, and he's like, I can't. I'm a god. I can't.
He's got a pretty sweet life.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's getting fed. And then so Fievel takes off his hat.
The second he smells that perfume, boy, he's like, okay, let's go.
Let's go. And the training montage is some of the best.
It is.
Absolutely fantastic.
And Tiger gets a pretty cool song here.
What is the song he gets?
Bow, bow, bow. Bark, bark.
Yeah.
I do. It's
Say, okay, I'll
gets me
get 95. 95. Good job.
much better.
Bowie, wowie, raw, raw. That's literally the song, but it's so hype. And then, like, at the end, he's, like, literally barking
Yeah,
like
he's
a
like,
dog. And here,
Like,
and
whoa.
this is also, like, one of my favorite lines. You gotta give him the
Lazy eye. I had forgotten about this.
And he kind of spazzes out, and Wiley's just like hopeless.
Well, so whenever he first tells him to bark,
Yeah.
Tiger goes. I don't know if the mic picked that up, but
Yeah.
that's what he's just like whistling.
Yeah.
And Wiley looks at him like, no, bark, like, and he's like, woof, woof.
No.
The whole training is so funny. And then, like, if you compare the training
Yeah.
to what they do after,
Yeah.
everything they do in the training,
Yeah.
he actually ends up having to do
Okay.
when fighting the cats, like running through the buckets. He actually has to do that.
Yeah.
When fighting
He
the-
does the tires or whatever. Yeah, he does. So a lot of it is nicely played. So it doesn't just exist to be existing. It actually gets use.
I don't believe he learned all that in one day.
No.
It's movie magic, Phil.
And it's a cartoon.
That did sound really.
Yeah, it was kind of
movie magic.
scary, actually.
Sound like Mickey Mouse almost. Movie magic.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's scary.
Disney's gonna. Dis-
I've seen Aaron scare his at least one
Friend,
guy friend
yeah.
with that voice.
he just was like.
He was bigger than Aaron. It was hilarious.
Dude, depending on the stuff like that voice is saying, it could be extremely terrifying.
Yeah. Which I won't use because I respect all of you on this program. So we have the training montage, and time is running out.
Yeah.
So
They're about to be smushed by the biggest mousetrap ever.
Yep. And so they're doing the whole like ribbon cutting and everything like that, and get into the stands, and the cats are all salivating, and oh my gosh, and then
And Tanya saves them, really.
yeah.
Oh, can't you see? You're
Yeah.
on a mousetrap.
Yeah. So they
Because they aren't going to kill her.
yeah, they love their
Oh,
diva
yeah.
too much.
I don't hurt the diva.
Yeah.
Because she was going to be the only one to live, really, because she was going to be
yeah.
the one stinging at their saloon.
Yep.
Yeah. So they all get on there, and then Wiley Burp, remind me of his name again, Tiger. And Fievel show up, and it's the showdown at the OK Corral kind of
And
thing.
how slow they're walking.
dun.
They're dramatic.
And it's kind of like it's a tie-in to the beginning of the movie when Fievel's just daydreaming.
Oh,
about
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Totally.
And it's really, again, it's evocative of all the spaghetti westerns you're used to seeing.
Yeah.
And again, we've given you so much homework on this program, but if you have not watched some of the classic westerns, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, for a few dollars more, Nobody, there's a bunch of John Waynes. Any of the Clint Eastwood ones are fantastic.
100%. That's what I would watch with my grandfather.
Yeah.
Was all the westerns.
I remember that, and there's some really Clint Eastwood just.
He's the best.
And but the supporting characters in the movies are just extraordinary. They are, there's nothing better than that. So this movie is leaning heavily into those kinds of films, which is interesting because Jimmy Stewart starred in a couple of westerns.
Yeah.
Obviously, Liberty Valance was one of them. And so they are advancing on the mouses, and they're about to cut them, and they say, "Hold up," or whatever, and they start shooting with they don't have guns. They have, what are those?
Slingshots.
Slingshots,
Yeah.
yep. And so they start slingshotting them, And then one of the other guys has like a 315 band like slingshot. And
He's got like the machine gun slingshots.
Yeah, the 6-shooter, more than a 6-shooter. And so it really just continues.
It's like pure chaos.
Yeah, it's absolutely out of control.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of things happening, and Tiger gets rough.
Because they were doing something to Miss Kitty.
Yeah,
The spider was hanging her over the
Yeah,
head.
and that's when he got like livid.
yeah. And what? So was the lazy? When did the lazy eye come into play? Oh, they were all surrounding him.
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
they overwhelmed him, and then I think Fievel says, "Give him the lazy eye," and both Wyatt Burp and Tiger. And we don't actually see what the lazy eye looks like because all the cats run in absolute fear of whatever is coming. But it's like, I love that line of, "Give him the lazy eye." It's my favorite line of the whole movie. Like, without question.
Yeah.
I will put that on my tombstone.
Oh, please don't.
No, Aaron.
Give him the
don't.
lazy eye.
No.
They'll be like, what?
They'll have to Google it while they're over my tombstone.
That's
No.
horrible. You get education with the dead. I don't know.
I teach
I'm
you one more
vetoing-
thing.
I'm vetoing this
I'm
request.
giving you one more lesson in life. The lazy eye. Anyway, sorry. That was a tangent.
Well, at some point, our main evil cat guy does pull out a road gun.
Yes.
It's like on some
on a
contraption.
it's on like a mount or whatever.
Yeah.
And so he starts shooting.
God.
Yeah.
Varmint. And then, so Fievel ends up getting on top of it and spinning it around and pointing it at him, at
Yeah.
the cat guy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And somehow, all the cats end up on the opposite side of the mousetrap,
Yep.
the flippy side.
Yep.
And,
Who flips him onto the? Does the gun flip him?
yeah. Yeah.
So he shoots the
Fievel
device,
shoots it, yeah.
and then it flings them into the mailbag for the
Conveniently.
train.
Oh, so conveniently.
And then John Cleese is the cat, the evil cat character is like, what does he say? He's like, "Next time," or "Now I'll," and then it grabs them all.
Bye.
And
Oh, and then there's
And then-
this lady.
yeah.
pussy, and she just
Oh,
grabs it.
She's got him all dressed up in like a little bonnet.
Oh,
and a little bow.
God.
so unhappy.
He's like, he's fuming.
Yep. I love that they don't try and kill him because in a lot
Right.
of like Disney movies the bad guy gets killed, but in this movie they all get domesticated, and that's far so much worse for them because now they're pets of humans. And yeah, so then what I love about this movie is that we get, obviously, Miss Kitty falls back in love with Tiger and they're back together again.
Well, because that line she said at the beginning, "I wish I had a cat that was more like a dog."
Yep.
Well, Tiger is basically a dog
Yep.
now.
he's got his name tagged.
And a
Fido.
god.
Wiley,
and a god.
Wiley Burp even like pulled his ears out.
Yes.
He's got
Yeah.
floppy ears.
That's true.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. And so then we have the ending scene where Fievel and Wiley Burp are sitting on the kind of the vista,
Yeah.
and that's how the movie ends.
Yeah, he gives them a nice little speech about being a hero.
Yep.
And he's like, "You can be your own hero," and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
it's a really good ending. Really,
I loved it.
Really good movie
Yeah, it's better than the first, I think.
for sure.
And it's interesting because I think a lot of people nostalgia-wise are like, "Oh, American Tail is the greatest movie ever." It's like, I don't know about that.
But this is interesting. We're basically saying as a group the sequel's better.
Yep.
Which is very rare
Yeah.
when it comes to.
I don't ever heard of it happening before.
Yeah.
Can you think of another instance where the sequel's better than the original?
Not
Aaron,
really.
who doesn't usually don't like sequels.
No, I'm very
remakes
I'm
of
very
any kind.
critical of sequels, and remakes make me angry, irrationally angry.
Yeah, like even with, I like horror movies.
Yeah.
The original is always the best.
Yes.
Like, there's no reason to make
Yeah.
7 or 8 more movies.
I don't know. I can argue that a little bit. Like with a lot of like the old like slasher films, like Freddy
Yeah.
Krueger.
Yeah.
I think I think I like the second one better than the first.
What?
And then I'm just weird like that because Freddy Krueger terrified me as a kid.
Yeah.
I like the ones that are more goofy,
Yeah.
outlandish.
Yeah.
Like Dream Warrior, where all the kids get superpowers. I love that. I'm sure there are people out there that are like, "What?
Yeah.
You like that one? Like it wasn't even scary." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. That's the point."
Yeah, I don't like watching horror movies. I mean, I've told Zoe this and Vicki and one week. I don't like watching scary movies. I don't like scary moments in movie theaters. Like, I like to just fast forward. I'm just like, nope.
I have to be like in the real mood for it to like watch a scary movie.
Yeah.
I'm not a jump scare guy.
I don't either. I don't like them.
That's I think it's the most lazy
Yep.
form
I
of
agree.
fear you could invoke
Yeah.
in someone.
Yeah.
So just all you gotta do is mute it.
That's what I do.
Because honestly, the music is what really makes like
The word it works.
that's scary.
I stand by that.
Yeah.
So there you go. How do we want to? We can rate this movie. I think we're all going to come up with the same number. I will start. I would say like a 9 out of 10. There's a couple of things I'm like, but overall, I mean, when you think about the message that Steven Spielberg, I think he was very intentional when he was sending regarding the parallels between the Jewish people and their story from World War II into this. Again, 9.0, like just an absolute brilliant movie, and great voice acting, great music.
Yeah.
Just from start to finish, just an excellent film.
I agree with you. 9.
Yeah.
There is one moment that is very jarring
Yeah.
to me, and it's Fievel's voice.
Yeah.
At one point, like halfway through the movie,
Yeah.
for some reason he says one line, and he sounds like a baby.
Oh.
Like I forget what line it was, but like it's like his voice totally changed just for that one.
Weird.
It sounded like him in the first movie.
Oh.
I was like, oh, that's just weird. But yeah, other than that, and like the very minimal, like non-important like plot holes there are. I mean, this movie is literally an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, it is a
and
fast
and you can
movie.
tell that like it was made for like TV, because there are
Yeah.
like some scenes where it cuts
Yeah.
and it fades to black and
Yeah.
it stays for like a second and
Yeah.
then comes back, and you're like, oh, there was a commercial supposed to be here.
Right.
But yeah, this movie is near and dear, close to my heart. I love it. It's
Okay. Vicki?
adorable.
What would you rate it?
9.
9.
Oh, 9 as well. Sorry, I missed that. I think for me 8.5.
Yeah.
Just because some of the jokes that you found hilarious, I was just like the dog thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, really? But I still really like it. I
Yeah.
feel like 8.5 is like still a good score.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Well, I was gonna give it a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
This
Okay.
is the first time I've ever seen it. I've never seen the first movie or
Yeah.
anything. It's a good, like, just a feel good movie, like you just put on to feel good.
Yeah.
It's definitely a movie like if I had kids, they would be watching.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And I think I got some more extra things, like the nicknames and stuff, and that made me feel more connected to it. I guess.
Yeah.
So,
I would agree.
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Yep.
'Cause
So
I didn't even realize that's where it came from until we watched it.
We both looked at each other. And I was like,
I was
wait,
like,
what?
a minute.
What is the nickname for this movie? Good.
The baby bunkaroo? What Tiger says to Miss Kitty?
Oh, okay. So the Fievel story is not over. They made, I think, 2 TV shows, a made-for-TV movie. They weren't as rated as well because I think the animation quality kind of dropped a little bit on one of them. But there was a full season of a Fievel show. I think it picked up after Fievel Goes West.
Interesting.
There was also a prequel apparently that they tried to make, and it happened,
God.
but I don't know how I feel about it.
Okay.
So there's some more Fievel lore to be mined. Again, if you're interested as a listener, you can probably YouTube and find it, do whatever, and go from there. But yeah, that's the Fievel story. We've never had a remake. We've never had a reboot, and I think it's okay. I think you can't take
Oh
something.
my God, live action Fievel
Oh
No.
no!
coming out.
It would be like
2027.
Cats, but
Yeah,
worse.
with
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
If you don't,
Oh my God.
yeah. So if you,
I don't need that mental image. in my
No.
head.
yeah, it would be awful. If you're looking for something on YouTube to watch, there's a video you should search for. You should search for Cats, Sideways. I think it's
Oh yeah,
I've talked about that. So it's a whole hour-long takedown of what is Cats and why is Cats by a guy who knows musical theater and he is infuriated. He also does a video on Les Mis in which he takes Tom Hooper to task for the disaster that was Les Mis live action. That it's what he did to the actors and what he put them through and their voices. I think I had you watch that video.
Yeah, you did.
It was rough. He possibly could have permanently damaged people's vocal cords with what he put them through. It's nuts. At Tom Hooper's theory that he could make it all live action. Everything was full on. It was bad. It was just useless and pointless. So there you go. There's your story. What are we gonna watch next?
We were supposed to do Beverly Hills Ninja.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We got to get into some Chris Farley and
Yeah.
Happy Madison films.
Yeah, bring us into some good stuff. Apparently, they started shooting Happy Gilmore 2.
Yep.
Is in progress, which is exciting.
Interesting.
because Adam Sandler is back. I think it's obviously time for that to come back into the cultural consciousness. Okay, so it'll be Beverly Hills Ninja. Will be the next one we do.
I can go ahead and give my rating on that movie right now.
And what isn't that Chris Rock too?
Chris Rock is in it.
Yep.
And what's the guy's name? That's the
Robin Show.
real ninja.
Robin Show.
He's amazing.
Show.
Yeah.
He played Liu Kang in the
Yes,
1995
that's what it was, yes.
Mortal Kombat.
Oh, okay.
That's why I love him so much. He is beautiful.
He is
by the way.
he is very beautiful with his hair.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So there you go. That's the episode. If you're interested in having us tackle some other movies, feel free to let us know through your various sources. You can send emails to adelayedteacher@gmail.com. But we're building our list for the remainder of the year as we continue into.
Yeah, we got
Tommy Boy, Black Sheep,
yeah.
a bunch of others we'd like to see. We're still working on the County Gamers Return. We got to figure out how to get a TV either up here or down there to figure out how to record that. So me and Phil and eventually Chris can come back together and do some video game work.
Yeah, and maybe some video.
Yeah, with some actual video gameplay and some commentary. So.
Oh, we didn't even tell them.
Oh.
I just got a 4K camera.
What?
Oh yeah, we did.
So just so you know, we have two now.
Wow.
So, and it has a stand and a little mic thing. And
Wow.
it's pretty cool. I'll
That's
come and
awesome.
show you.
The funny thing about it though, Aaron, is like it is a 4K camera.
Yeah.
But like you turn it on, there's like no branding. It just says camera.
Okay.
So I don't know what brand it is, but
It's a camera.
and it
It
works.
Yeah.
It does the job.
Yeah.
So there you go. You've got the possibility of some video content coming your way before we jump into 2025 and the future of the podcast. Anything else we want to say before we close this out?
Yeah, no podcast next week.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
we'll be down for a week, so we might figure something else out there. I have nothing left to say.
Aaron's,
Have a wonderful week.
yeah.
I'm tired.
Bye bye.
See you later, guys. Thanks
Bye.
For listening. Bye.
The raspberry flapovers will be out in a moment. The kitchen is closed.
You've been listening to the Nerds by Screenlight podcast, presented by Create at Morgan Productions, located in Fort Morgan, Colorado, USA. For more information on our production house, other podcasts hosted here, and further details, please visit www.createatmorgan.org. You can find us on Twitter at the handle CreateAtMorgan. Create at Morgan is a school club at Lincoln High School, our alternative education campus in Morgan County. Our sponsor is Aaron DeLay, a language arts teacher at Lincoln. Send any feedback to adelayedteacher@gmail.com. Thank you for listening to our podcast.